opportunity lives a man with a funnel plan as clever as can be.
Good morning.
His law degree for plugins that go zing. Now WooCommerce dances.
Okay, we got verification. I love it when a Friday comes together.
Evil genius. He's got a plugin for that. Clicks and tricks from his market.
Don't make me do my Elaine dance from Seinfeld. Today is a new day. I'm really, really excited. Today, I'm going to do something slightly different because I'm going to do no tech demo, I don't think. I'm going to do talk demo. Talk, not tech. I have a couple of things, including a call-in testimonial from one of my favorite people in the world, Fred Jones, who we're just wrapping up a project for the New York City school systems using the same stuff that I'm going to talk about. Hello, everybody. I see Lloyd is in. And I actually, I'm logged in as my personal account profile. Maybe switch over that so I can talk to you guys. Let me just real quickly change that. And then I'm going to tell you today what we're going to talk about is the finances of how this all works, both as you working as an implementer, you being a client, etc. Because you can kind of see the red eyes. I have spent probably every day for the last 7 days staying up till 2 a.m, either working with clients, working on the code, getting stuff built. And it's really starting to show some results. And I want to explain how I view this situation going forward for everybody based upon real world examples with real people. I've been doing this for 19 years now in WordPress and my whole life as an entrepreneur. I want to explain the mindset, everything else. But before I do that, because again, I think I can pull this off, I just have to log in as the proper me on my other machine. I don't know why I never actually get this right, but one of my goals probably this month, and by the way, this month I do turn actually 59, is to get my, to get my life Marie Kondoed. In other words, I'm going to be removing all of the extra little doodads in my workflow and in my life that don't bring me joy, because I realize that part of moving forward is that you have to learn how you can let go. Okay, just last of my distractions. I promise I'm just going to go to the actual screen with the actual video so that I can at least monitor. Okay, and now I'm logged in me. Hi, John. Hi, John. Okay. Concept for today is why do we need all this stuff? What is this stuff? Where does it go? Why am I talking about $417? Julie, hello. I'm so glad you're here. I look forward, by the way, Julie, I hope everything is well. Looking forward to us using what I'm going to show you here to wrap up your project, because Julie has been with me since the inception of this. So you as much as everybody, high five. Thank you. First of all, as I go into my later years, but as I've been in my 50s, especially as an entrepreneur, I realize, like I did a video this week called My Way. Oh my God, congratulations. Julie has a grandson. If you want to share his name, but congratulations, that is incredible. I have not crossed that bridge yet. I think you're younger than me too, Julie. So congratulations. That's amazing. I hope that happens on this side of the fence someday. Okay, so as I enter into these later years, I talk a lot about the fact that for me at least, I view it like one day, let me back up the story. I tell the story sometimes about how I was listening after my second or third or fourth back surgery to Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I was walking around the park and she famously had Jane Fonda on. And Jane Fonda was well known in her 20s, 30s about those things, and then her 40s and 50s about the other things. And then in her 60s, she just famously said, it's going to be drama free and all about me, but not all about me in a way that's selfish, all about me in a way that she was sort of framing the next or remaining third of her life as this is the way it's going to be. I'm going to be doing things that are meaningful, but not as drama filled as when I was younger, or about other people's dramas like I was younger. And I think that really reflects on my view of how I'm operating and what I am offering to you and other people. I see that I had very early success and good luck, but I mean, the nature of who I am as an entrepreneur came from my earliest years. I tell the story of Spence, the 10-year-old Porton King at Camp Menominee. And then in the middle part of my life, I was dealing with experiences that I think were very formative to who I am today. They built the resiliency and the need to reinvent myself quite frequently because of raising 3 kids as a single dad and going through the changes in the business market with real estate and so forth. But I have always found that the part that's most interesting is if I had to do it all over again, if I had taken a safer path, if I had done something that was like, oh, my friends are doing the same job, the same relationship, the same whatever for 35, 40 years. When I look in the mirror, I honestly say, I don't think that would have made me happy. I don't think that's who I am. I don't think that's my thing. And I think most entrepreneurs probably have the same feeling. That is to say, what gives me a joie de vivre, a joy of life, what gets me up in the morning is the thrill, the chills, the action-packed adventure of, is today the day I'm going to discover something, invent something, solve something? And it doesn't really matter whether I'm on the beginning of the cycle where I have 0 and everything is at risk, or whether I'm at the high five, we've succeeded on this. Either way, the only difference is, do I get up and are there problems to solve, new things to do? Almost like when I was a kid, I would go every afternoon or evening into the basement and build these radio control model airplanes. And I would just constantly be daydreaming about new ideas and things like that. So when it comes to these businesses, when I help you guys and when I get involved in solving problems like this, it's because I think it's A, who I am, B, what I'm really good at, and C, I really love people. So yesterday I had 4 calls. I had 5 calls the day before. I probably spent half of my day talking to people. Last night I was really pleased because I got to help my client friends Neil and Fred. And I was on the call earlier in the day with 2 other really smart new entrepreneurs. And then there was in the morning another, I did the WP Tonic show. This brings me joy. And where I see this all going for you guys is what I'll talk about next. It's, I can be the liaison to a world that I think inevitably we are all going into, which is that the world and the technology, the politics, the people, we are going through an evolution. And this is the Zen sort of thing. Let me, I guess I can leave my thing up. I'll just leave it up. The Zen sort of thing is this: old world, new world. Oh, get some coffee on my finger. I'll do it like this. Old you, new you. Old ways of doing things, new ways of doing things. There's like Evel Knievel in the Snake River Canyon, this chasm to jump. It's scary. It's different. For me, it means throwing as much of my energy towards the new thing as I can while still having enough money to gas up the motorcycle and jump the Grand Canyon. And I'm seeing this exemplified on a daily basis because every single new thing that I do brings new customers, new clients. And when I have the same conversations with these new clients as I had with old clients, the only difference is I introduced the idea that there's a new way to basically convert yourself, convert your business, get it into the new system. And for that, I've been doing this thing, which is I'm calling a VIP. Imagine you are very happily riding around in a horse and wagon, or very happily riding around in even a gas-powered, diesel-powered car. And then you see these people, like I actually saved on my Facebook yesterday, these new personal electric hovercraft transportation vehicles. There's one of them called the Jetson One. I'm going to get one, I swear, if I can afford to get one. I think they're like $100-something-thousand. It's just a car with this, like one of those drones, but big enough for a human that you could fly around it. And imagine everybody started driving around in those things and you're on a horse and buggy. Well, it doesn't mean that you're wrong. It doesn't mean there's anything bad about a horse and buggy. But if you were trying to compete or be in a world where everybody else had that brand new technology, it would be awfully hard. It would be very difficult unless you're a Luddite or, you know, following a community of people around the world that we know sometimes do actually shun technology. But in the normal Western world where technology is embraced, it would be very difficult. And I think that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that when I have these conversations with people, I go, let's go through the conversations that I've had for the last, I don't know, 18 years about all the tools that are human nature that you have to install for WordPress to get solutions. And it turns out that WordPress is awesome and the idea people want to do are awesome. It's the tools that have been the problem. And I'm able to now, using this MinuteLaunch system, say, guess what? What I'm actually giving you is a robot that you will essentially have a relationship with of your own that has all of the same awesomeness that was always there, but we can remove the difficult layer. We can remove the Marie Kondo doesn't bring you joy layer. I'm going to spend 22 hours with you twisting knobs and sliding levers and adjusting things inside of human tools to get the same job done. And instead, the conversation is, I'm simply going to set you up and train you to use the new system with the new tool. So this week, I have Doug, who we built for Formula One racing cars for juniors. We built brand new sales pages that were, I think I think I could pull up the actual thing today. I'll pull up some show and tell that were like pixel for pixel clones of very complex sites that he had built with, I think he'd used Bricks Builder in Gutenberg with embedded YouTube video backgrounds and so forth. For Fred's building a very complex, multifaceted dashboard for the New York City school systems. There's another customer of mine who I have a long-time relationship with, a multi-million-dollar supplement business. He has a non-compete for something that I decided I'm not going to mention the name, but like I used to manage their sites. And for them, he sat down with this new relationship and built a brand new website that rivals or better as what used to be. And I have other clients like Julie, who've got the Halise shooting system. She's actually in transition, so I'm glad you're here, Julie. Julie was with me from the beginning of this thing being in the inception of this thing through now. And because of some joyous family occasions and some other responsibilities, we're still in transition. But the point is, she'll get there too. John has been here every day. John, I know you're here. John is still working on, he's focused on some of the video tools. But the point is, these are just some of the people that I've been dealing with. And there's a bunch of other clients, and I'll show you here, that are nameless, that are companies for whom I'm building solutions in one click, one set of instructions. And the main difference is I understand now the tools that we used to have and the tools that I do have. And by having a VIP relationship, I'm able to take somebody who is otherwise spending oftentimes thousands of dollars a year on the traditional software, but also things like external CRMs. Like, for example, yesterday I had a call with a world-class violinist. This was the person who ran his website. And she was being charged just for Active Campaign alone, $7,000 a year, $7,700. She had about $1,800, I think, roughly, of tools that were for WordPress plugins. All the human time involved, because she was very awesome smart and running the business, and she had spreadsheets and even had Mentoric connected, but she was visibly, physically frustrated. And I'm not saying that everybody goes, wow, I've got to have these tools. But as soon as I show them how you can click and go, it oftentimes immediately changes the demeanor. All right, so I'm going to show some examples. I wanted to give an intro. The whole $417 things break down like this. I'm looking for people, including you guys here listening today or otherwise, if you've not done so already. You spend the $5,000. The $5,000 is for me to have a relationship with you where we convert everything that you're doing for your current business model, whether it be for your individual business, like the thing that's using it, or whether for you as an implementer, so that you're set up to do the same thing for your clients. And in doing so, you get two immediate tangible benefits. First of all, you leave the horse and buggy behind, and that means that you are on par with everybody else's current tool set, which hopefully brings you joy. And number two is that you are at an advantage technologically, because that means that you've got nothing holding you back and you have all the access to all the things that I am building and inventing on a daily basis. Including yesterday, I came up with a brand new block and a methodology that allowed Cursor to just go crazy. I said Cursor, but I got to introduce you to Fernando. So Cursor is Fernando. Claudio is Claude. Cursor is the power tool that I use, that I've often showed on the desk, and I'll do a little show and tell today, where I can have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 agentic partners. I've built tools to connect Cursor now to the MinuteLaunch system. And as a result, his tool set and his capability and his lack of getting lost with memory means he does way more work than Claude. So I use this metaphor, and again, I'll start doing some show and tell so you guys don't get bored to tears. Claude is like Morgan Freeman in Driving Miss Daisy, and you can be Jessica Tandy in the back seat. And there's one car, one driver. It's a very special relationship. You do one thing at a time, and sometimes he's like, oh, I got to pull over and use the bathroom because you just used up your token memory. And then you have to stop and you go to another chat and stop and go to another chat. Cursor is like having an army, a fleet of taxis that will take you everywhere and anywhere and never stop. It's a little more complex to set up, but it's worth it in the end. All right, let me do a little show and tell so I don't bore you guys to tears, because I want to give you some tangible examples. And actually, today I'm going to start with this. I'm building a couple things out, but one of the things I want to start with is, let me actually, this is Fred, a very handsome friend of mine, Fred, and he's in California. He was nice enough to send this testimonial along, which I think I can put into, maybe it's easier if I put it in here. Let me see if I can do this. If I put it into the actual media thing so you can hear the audio. Hold on one second. It's always awesome if I prepare this stuff, but you know, it's me. Video clips, more. Here we go. Okay, let me actually save video as, and I will drag this in here. And Fred is going to give a testimonial, which is to this larger thing. And I know you guys are here, so most of you guys who are here already kind of have a relationship with me that's, you know, I appreciate greatly. But Fred's done an amazing job as a customer and doing cool stuff. So let me just throw Fred in here. Oh, must be of a file MP4. Okay. I'm going to give you guys the link to this page in case you want to follow along. But anyway, Fred was nice enough to do this testimonial. But I'm not sure if the audio comes through, but Fred is awesome. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually, so Lloyd says he gets a secure connection valve. I didn't realize StreamYard, and we'll prepare it all the time. I will upload this into the site so you guys can actually see it. I think because I asked him to give it to me on his iPhone, it came in as an MOV file. Point of the story, Fred and I working together. I'm sure many of you, like on the front of my site, will hopefully be able to have a similar experience. Fred was able to do stuff where his professional business involves the school systems of New York City and in California and other places. And one of the quotes he gave me, not in this video, but otherwise, was we were able to achieve in like 6 hours, 6 days, what he was not able to achieve in 6 months before. And I think that's one of the examples of this. It's not that me, Spencer, is doing something so remarkable. It's more that the tools themselves allowed him to take charge. And so last evening we had a powwow, and Fred has gone off and started developing stuff on his own. And I know Julie can speak to that as well, because Julie was the early adopter, but she's using some of the newer tools as well. And I think Julie, let us know too. You're actually onto Cursor now, maybe not as far as we're going to get you, but when you start using the tools, you start realizing the workflow changes. All right, so the 417 is an idea that I'm suggesting that if somebody invests $5,000, and that's, let's say, 1 year of time, you're about $417 a month. You can do it on your credit card. You can do it cash. I don't care. The point is, I can sit down and revamp everything about how you're doing things. But in the end, what we're really talking about is I'm taking you from the horse and buggy world or the gas car world to the electric car world. And again, since Julie's here, she speaks to this, I'm sure. It's a mind-blowing experience when you start to see, like, I'm now talking to a device that does all these crazy things for me, like today's webinar. I can get it done with just saying, hey, Fernando, do this thing that we know you can do. Or again, with building the content from today, the imagery, the setup, this is just with an assistant. It's still me orchestrating it. I'm running the restaurant. So the 417, the $5,000 is me saying, look, you can piddle around and you can tippy toe into this, but if you have a credit card or if you have the idea, that money will pay for itself. And here's the ways that it pays for itself. Number one, it eliminates all the other external costs. So for example, not many of you guys, but somebody who might be watching this video are probably using external CRMs. It could be high level, it could be ActiveCampaign, it could be, God forbid, Salesforce, HubSpot. They charge hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month, depending on which one you use. Those costs go away. Number two, your external hosting costs. Those costs go away. The hosting's included with optimized Cloudflare enabled secure rocket.net that has the APIs and the other things that we need to make magic happen. Number three, you have all the answers you ever need directly from me. And as Fred and other people have experienced, I often make myself available at odd hours of the day and the night because I really place a high emphasis on customer support and service. But most importantly, I'm not really giving answers to the make the logo bigger or the plugin is broken. I'm giving answers to why isn't this business idea I want to make happen happening? Why is it that the clients are underpaying me? Why is it that I have so much frustration? Those are the things that I can help, both from the actual technology I deliver and the systems, but also from the experiences of, I think, going on like 50,000 relationships now over the last 18, 19 years. Finally, I think the biggest thing is the enablement of features that can otherwise not be possible. So for example, today I may or may not get the client, but I have a client today that I'm going to demonstrate this portal to, right? Some nice fellas who run a business on the East Coast. I don't want to say too much about them specifically because that's their business, but they run a water company and they came to me asking, do I have some solutions for them? And the solutions that I have were basically, I listened to their problems. I understand in the past what I've got. And with the help of the tools, I was able to build what I'm going to roughly estimate, and this may be overstating it. I built something that probably would have been a $250,000 job for a Salesforce expert. This involves Salesforce, WordPress, CRMs and stuff. It involves real customers and a portal with sales orders and everything else. I was able to build something like this, and I'm going to be really discreet, and that's all I'm going to show you at the moment. I was able to build something like that in a very short amount of time. And the reason was not because I'm a genius. It's because if I had to build that manually, even with my extensive development skills, right? Like I wrote launch flows and a couple other plugins in 2019. It took me 6 months to get launch flows, a plugin, functional, another year to get it really solid. And it's about 5 years that it's been going now. I think 2019, 6 years that it's been going now. I'm constantly updating it. When I'd have to update it, it would be a whole weekend for one little tiny problem. I would remember because I'd have to go on walks and I'd use my phone to make Instagram posts. Now I have the language and the skill set to just talk to my, Claudio or Fernando and his cousins, and not instantly necessarily, but nearly instantaneous, I can get the working models going. I can show you other examples here of clients like Alyssa, who is going to be one of my, she's not at this webinar, I'm sure, but Alyssa and David are clients that have a really thriving YouTube channel and business, and almost 1 million people. And one of the things that we're able to do, and let me see if I can call this up here. Hold on one second. I'm going to call it from the other screen. Is we were able to build tools that dynamically call out her entire array of content from Vimeo. She has hundreds and hundreds of Vimeo videos and thousands of YouTube videos. Let me just call this up for a second, because what I was able to do is sit down with the team and last night, build 2 custom plugins with these tools without necessarily me having to dig deep into my own skills. I do have the ability to understand and frame the problems, which is the advantage of working with me in a VIP, but I'm not actually doing the coding. Let me call this up here. Hold on a second. I just need to get the URL of the page, and hopefully we'll log in because I'm going from one machine to the other. Hold on. Let's see if I get lucky with the login. That's Fred Jones. That's not the right number. Hold on. That was my copy paste went awry. Copy. I'm going from Mac to PC here. Okay. Let me show you on the back here. So one of the things that I did is we built a custom video library with an API. This allows me to connect to Vimeo. This is going to be a released product. So anybody who has Vimeo, good morning, Kurt. Anybody who has clients that, let's say, for example, have Vimeo, this is a tool that I built for Alyssa, but this is also for everybody else, because this allows me to attach to Vimeo and get all of the crazy data out of there. What do I mean by that? Well, so she has 284 videos. The amount of stuff that's valuable in there for the AI to use is out of control. Because, for example, here, just using, again, WordPress custom post types, we got the thumbnail, we got the image, we've got all of the transcript available. So imagine if instantly you have a customer that has all this membership data, legacy data, and they go, oh, I really want to reinvent myself. I want to do new things. I want to sell differently, do differently, etc. You go, well, here's what I've got. I've got some tools available through MinuteLaunch, and Spence hooked me up and showed me, and we got set up. I can now build you a custom portal with a new membership system that takes all of your data and makes it enabled to AI to build stuff. What do you mean? Well, for that $5,000, which is $417 for 12 months out of my pocket using my credit card, I now move my business into a place that I can ask the customer, the client, what is this worth to you? And solutions like this to most customers, if they have an audience, are worth $10,000, $20,000, $25,000 and up, because this really changes the membership business. This means that more people, like Alyssa's business, they charge in the thousands of dollars a year for what she offers. The client from yesterday, or the potential client from yesterday, had the same thing. Had a big audience of people that really paid well for that private audience. Imagine being able to take all of their content and now exposing it through these tools to AI. Well, 2 things happen. First of all, I built with Alyssa here an example of, let's see if this is the right page. This is the workout video library engine. This is not the final result for the client, but this is for her as a preliminary thing for us to access all of our legacy data. So for planning and other purposes, by the way, this shows privacy only because the Vimeo videos aren't set up on my demo, but you can see here what's happening. This is access to immediately be able to search and filter and find any and all of her content from Vimeo here in her dashboard. But where it really shines is that I built another page yesterday as the precursor to what we're going to be building. And Xander Holtz, if you're here, also was looking at this. This is where we can have something for the clients to dynamically get anything that they want. In other words, if we want to have the AI assistance for the client to be able to actually say, here's my problems, make something for me. In other words, make a custom workout plan. This is called the AI recommendation engine. And again, same idea. It's AI enabled. We can give it a kind of prompting of what's basically what it is it should look for and do. And then I believe the address is here at AI Workout Planner. So there's two tools. And again, I'm going to relate this back. Imagine that you, without any coding, without any special skills beyond a relationship skill or the things that I can give to you, can take these kinds of things and have them available to you. And I'm doing a very bad job. I'm just type AI Workout Planner. And you can have something like this. And this is, again, not the end all be all. This is just something that I built. This is does not work. AI Workout Planner. I typed it twice. That's fine. I need an assistant just to help me type things during the webinar, which it's amazing I even get this far. Okay. So what does this do? This is a simple model of what's going to happen with the clients, where I can go, my knees hurt and my back hurts when I get out of bed in the morning. So again, maybe we'll have a checklist thing, but they just describe stuff. I want to be able to walk farther, run higher, or climb higher. They can select fitness level, equipment. I have resistance bands, chair, yoga mat, and I can do this. I can do, my knees and back really hurt. Okay. So what happens is this taps into all of the metadata that the other tool got automatically from Vimeo. Follow me on this. Without you building anything, the tool itself, upon my request, and in your case with my help as a VIP, we can build these kinds of custom systems, these databases, these interfaces, these multiple layer complex capabilities, where what this does now is this now says, hey, here's your recommendation for what's wrong with you, and here's the videos. Now, what we're going to do is expand this further, because instead of just giving out the videos, this is going to be giving out full lesson plans that have things to do with checklists and how to do it. And I've shown you this in other examples, but the neat thing about this is that all of these capabilities come from Alyssa and David having faith in me and saying, I want to be early adopter. It comes from people like Julie Clark saying, I have faith in you, Spence. I want to be an early adopter. It comes from like Neil. I'll show you some stuff we did yesterday with Neil, or Fred. I can go down a list of dozens of people. And if you're looking at this and you haven't done it, I'm saying, I need to decide for myself where I'm going with this. And the bridging of the worlds is making it very clear that my best skill set is working with individual people by being a mad scientist in the laboratory in the evenings or otherwise, building tools. But in the daytime, working with people who say, Spence, that $5,000 one time, the $417 a month is going to allow me to have you take me to the place I need to go for delivering this for my clients, delivering it for myself. Because I mean, I can do hundreds of these examples. Those things you're showing me, maybe I could figure out how to do that, but you've already got it figured out. And the cost of owning it once you get me there is inexpensive, right? I mean, it starts at $197 a month for both the traditional software and the MinuteLaunch software. If you're selling to clients, there's the potential for you to be in that chain of sale as well. Let me show you a couple of interesting examples of stuff that besides this portal. I'm hesitant to show this portal simply because this client I have a meeting with today, so I'm going to hold back. But let me show some other cool stuff that happened yesterday. I was working with Neil late at night because he's in Colombia, and after my pickleball break, we actually spent an hour together. And let me show you this transition of stuff. This is kind of interesting. Even though I said I wasn't going to go into like a big I wasn't going to go into a big tech show until I'm going to go into a little bit of a watch what happens here. This is with the new tool that I built, which is the AI enabled WP Cursor MCP. The Cursor MCP is in many ways way more powerful able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. No, I mean, in all seriousness, it's able to create stuff that it can see the pages. It can literally copy the pages directly. Does not have the difficulty that the other previous tools had. It's not guessing at what it's making on the screen. Let me see though, where did we put, oh, I have to change my screen options because I have 45 pages. So let me go, let me show all 200 pages and then I'll see Neil's stuff from yesterday because it was last night. All right. So let me see if these are in order. And then I can go backwards. Perfect. So last night when I was with Neil, that is not it. Last night when I was with Neil, we started talking about the design of his site. He has a site right now that's a portal to Ascension. And again, Neil and I have been working together for a bit on this. He's also an early adopter of this stuff. His current site has old-fashioned build, Elementor, a million ACF plugins. It's constantly crashing because it was built during a time when all these moving parts required lots of, extra stuff, extra components. And if I can hold myself together long enough to get to the right tab. Let's do it like this. I'm going to open up a couple of things so I can just go in order and then I don't have to torture you guys. I'm not sure if this is it. Let's see. That's just the canvas. I'm going to show you that. And I'll show you a couple more of these pages and that's it. Okay. So what happened was yesterday when I was talking to Neil, we started discussing how we can emulate his thing. And that's where I said, I've got this new tool with the MCP that allows the cursor to create pages that are pixel perfect correct. And the way I'm going to do it is this. I had the tool create a special block called the MinuteLaunch canvas block. The canvas block is essentially a proxy that sits inside of Gutenberg so that it works with out-of-the-box WordPress. But the neat thing is it will accept any HTML, any CSS from your desktop agentic tool, whether it's Cursor or Claude. And the neat thing about it, though, was I added in this editorial capability so that, again, if I wanted to change stuff, hi gang, I can actually take what was created and edit it, save it, and do a little tweaking as a human being. So as I was talking to Neil, we started looking at what, his crazy wild event pages look like, and we were thinking of reinventing it. I simply said to the tool, go out, and this is a good example, go out to his website, get his brand, get the color schemes, get the content. And Neil and I sat down and he said, well, what if you make the button red and flashy? And what if you put like a little pyramid behind here and a UFO behind here and an alien behind here? And what if you made the galaxy in the background? And what if this, what if you made a library across the top? And all this crazy stuff was done. And I have a video of it that I'll edit and show just by saying to the tool, hey, make these changes. And then taking the same stuff and doing like his event sales page, right? This is not maybe the final destination, but this was done with a singular prompt. And if you look under the hood, it's done with the MinuteLaunch canvas block. Guess what I did not do? What he did not do? I did not spend a minute of time dicking around, with the traditional tools of a page builder. If I want to change the button on something, I can quite literally go in using the editorial that I click that actual button. I can use the HTML, the CSS, or I can use the preview mode, click and edit. These are sort of game-changing kind of tools. If I wanted to turn this into a more formal system, I can ask the tool to build it into a plugin. That's what we did for Fred for his school system portal, right? We literally took the New York City school system dashboard, built an application, turned it into a single file WordPress plugin. I believe I actually might even have it on here because we're also able to do the thing that's transportable. If I actually create something, here it is. If I actually create something, I can turn it into a single file plugin. So what's fantastic here is this was done with Cursor and Claude. There's no difference. Great question. There's no difference between Cursor or Claude with their capabilities. The difference is if you ask Morgan Freeman to like do 50 things while he's driving a car, he's going to be like, listen, I got to pull over every 5 minutes to take a bathroom break. If you ask Cursor, there's 400 dudes that can work on the stuff all day long. And I can show you on my dashboard, that's typically what I have going on. I have 4, 5, 6, 7 Cursor agents working with a variety of LLMs. But if you get my gist, the idea is to me that use the tool that suits your skill set, right? I'm giving you both. And if you were working with me on a VIP, I guarantee you that we'd get set up with Cursor because Cursor has overall the greater capability. It is not that it's capable of more itself, it's greater capability because it doesn't have to stop and pull over for a break and have you go to another chat, which I'm sure they're going to fix, but at the moment is super duper duper annoying. Let's see if this Tark dashboard shows up. This doesn't show up. I forgot what we did for Fred. There was a dashboard page that we built. This isn't it. I'm not sure where it is. Let's see. I think it was something like NYC. Let me see if I can call up the page. The dashboard that we built for him was amazing because it just combined about 30 different components. NYC. I know it was called Tark dashboard. I don't know. That's not it. I forgot actually, without looking at it, how it is that I got to the main dashboard. I guess it's one of these. Hold on. But it's not. I'll figure it out. Okay, so I don't get distracted from the point. I will show you some of these things in a better video. Maybe I'll make one today that reviews it, as well as the other testimonials, because today I just didn't want to make it about that stuff as much as just the general statement, which is, I think where all of this stuff is going to work out best is I have a couple larger proposals, a couple larger potential client things. I'm going to continue building a platform that is going to deliver these things en masse. I am really looking for more people to join me on the side of like, let me transition you from A to B, because at the end of the day, here's the good news, bad news. At the end of the day, I'm not going to stop servicing folks by providing the platform, but I am going to stop looking downstream and instead looking upstream. For the thing that I want to do and for the results that we've been getting, it's very clear to me that the clients that work with me and say, Spence, I'm on board, $5,000, let's do this. I'm able to take them to a place where they have something that delivers value beyond the scope of the $5,000, even if it's just on the savings of the, not having an external CRM or getting rid of the clunky processes or the software. In doing that, I can have a relationship with a number of interesting people that I can give 100% of myself in a certain time frame to get them to a destination that I can outline and very specifically say, you're here. And then they stay in that relationship, and I assist them with building all the kind of cool things that we can do because they have the new tools, the new setup. I am no longer going to be looking downstream towards Frankenstein monsters or people who just want to buy a la carte plugins. In fact, like Launch Flows itself, it's not going to go away. It's just going to be available only as part of the software bundle in the larger system. I am not as interested in talking to the traditional WordPress customer who's just a tinkerer at home who wants to buy random stuff on a Sunday and try to go home and make a recipe. The reason is because this stuff is too advanced, too exciting, too far down the road of success for me to spend any more time on it supporting those businesses. And it's kind of like a metaphor. The plumber fixes his own toilet with his own tools to show the client. If I actually do what I say, and the process of today's video is a good example, I'm able to get up and after doing my morning workout in 3 to 5 minutes have today's presentation ready, whereas that was an hour and a half or 2 hours of stuff to do, just random setting up and making stuff and dragging stuff. If I can demonstrate that I can fully automate my business and have dozens, hundreds, maybe even thousands of happy clients who all understand the value proposition, I think for me, that's going to get the outcome that I can really feel good about. I think that's the one that's not only financially going to keep me in the business, but also is going to make it possible for me to demonstrate how real people, regular people like you guys, were able to go from like kicking the can to really delivering stuff that other people would be happy to pay for. And it's not about design anymore, because even though I showed you a bunch of weird random design stuff, the tools that I've got now with a command can literally take any site and you say, make it look like that. I want more cowbell, make the logo bigger, turn it green. Here's the, here's the picture, or make the picture. All of those things are a foregone conclusion. We've already made them. So if you can do that, and it has the memory, and it can continue to get smarter, and Spence is sitting there next to it, ready to help you, there's no point in doing anything else. All right. So I'm not going to be long today, because today was like, I have 600 other things I want to do, but I did want to just jump in. I will give you a couple quick updates, just because that's, in fairness, what I should do. So let me add this, and I'm going to show you the MinuteLaunch. I've been really busting my chops with the MinuteLaunch video stuff, but let me more importantly go to, if I have a page here, by the way, here's some clients that, like, literally I had the call with them, and I don't want to reveal too much because we just had our first call, but Claudio creates the follow-up letter for me based on our call and sends it out to them directly, which is one of the things I demonstrated to them. And I think they must agree, because they run an agency as well and understand the value of the time factor, as well as the being able to offer that to their clients. But let me show you this, the MinuteLaunch stuff that we've updated. We have both MCPs, so you can connect with Claude or Cursor. The design clone tool is something that may or may not stick around, because it might not be necessary. It's a tool that lets you instantly have the Chrome developer tools that I described without having to connect to anything else. As it turns out, it might not be necessary, because this new Cursor MCP has demonstrated to me I can kind of build this into that, which would mean less tools. Fathom AI, fantastic. Connects to my Fathom calls, which I have on Zoom, gets all of that data and pulls it in. That's how I did the thing like writing the letter that says, hey, we just had this great call. Fathom was listening to the whole call. So all that data immediately became available to, in this case, Claude, and he just wrote the letter because he has my Gmail, and he sent it out knowing what template I wanted. Flow video for John Lawler, especially. John, high fives, buddy. I've been working on making this better and better and better, and it is a real struggle, but I think I'm finally making headway, so that you can generate any kind of cool videos with Veo 3.0, 3.1, soon Sora, and then add them to your library, but also make custom thumbnails, and then you'll have an asset library of things you can weave together for professional purposes. Now they can make videos that aren't just 8 seconds, they can make 30 seconds, 60 seconds, whatever you need. Image Compositor is a tool I built for anybody who has a client that has, let's say, 1,000 SKUs of products, and you want to just say, here's 2 different things I want to merge together. Like, here's some bottles of different types, and here's some labels, and each one can match up. This has been a tool that scratched an itch I have for the clients that have WooCommerce supplement stores, and it would work for any kind of WooCommerce products. Image Editor is the workhorse. This is AI enabled, creates all the imagery you see here. You can make endless iterations in your own media library. MinuteLaunch LaunchKit MCP, that's actually my bridge to the new world, which is it takes the traditional launch kit and makes it available with dynamic updates so that you or your MCP can get all of the traditional software. You still can use regular launch kit, but like for anybody who has MinuteLaunch AI, this is the way where you just instantly have any of the software you need. So your Claude or Cursor, if you need something, can go, yeah, let me just install that premium plugin real quick. The Media Hub P2P, that is the sharing hub. So you can save, share, organize, distribute, continue to edit all of your content, audio, video, PDFs, deliverables. It turns the media library of WordPress into a personal peer-to-peer media hub. Even for yourself, if you have 10 different sites, you can have one hub that has all of the content AI enabled. That's, by the way, how I did today's show. One WDTV pulls from the media hub of this MinuteLaunch. Spend Style Manager, that is actually what's going away in favor of what I just showed you, which was the new, the new MinuteLaunch Canvas block, because Spend Style had a fatal flaw in it, which was I realized if somebody wants to leave, which is my promise, you can leave at any time, this would have made it difficult because I would have had to give you another plugin or tool to take the content out of Spend Style and put it in the regular content blocks. So I'm just skipping a step and I'm making that natively from day one. Just all the stuff is natively displayed in a way that if you turned off all the MinuteLaunch software, you'd still have every single thing you created. And then MinuteLaunch Video Scripts is a tool that goes great with the Flow videos. That allows you to create cinematic ideas and just copy and paste the prompt instead of having to be like a director and know what a dolly shot is or a crane shot or a zoom in or any of those lighting things. So these together make it really nice to accomplish just about anything. But the way it really works is ultimately this. If we go to MinuteLaunch.com, there is a library of skills and a showcase that I'm building that will allow me to give everything to your Claude, your Fernando, instantly, so that the skills that I develop or the things that we build, imagine it like an instruction manual for your client where it can be handed over to your Claude and he or she can instantly know how to do stuff, right? Some of these are a little bit left over from the past, like this one from Adam, but these allow you to just give the URL or the index to your Claude and it will know exactly how something was made or the way to do it without having to guess, which is the way that this really exacerbates the benefit. If you can have a client that has a list of potential pain points that have been solved by either myself, the Claudes, or other customers, every possible solution that's ever been invented will already be in this library. And in doing so, you won't have to worry like, can I build this? Could I sell this? You just tell the client, yes, 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 yes. And this is what's your budget. And typically the client will tell you a budget that is going to be very favorable for what it takes you to do. So is it a little bit of a cheat code? Is it a little bit of a short code? Of course it is. That's the whole point. I'm trying to give you guys something that lets you earn a livelihood in a world where fairly nobody has an advantage right now. I'm going to be 59 in a couple of days. I would otherwise be in a world where they're like, hey, oh man, go sit on a bench. And now I could be the leading expert in the world on AI technology for WordPress, and you can too, because I now have tools and things that have been built that nobody else has because everybody started at zero, which is crazy to think about, but it's the way the world works. All right. I'm going to go and do some other stuff. Today was very disjointed. Maybe I should apologize for that, but I don't apologize because I'm a human being. I was up till 2 a.m. This is the stuff that I do. I'm a spring chicken. Exactly. I'm at Costco in the rotisserie. John is going on. Well, I like to say John's 39, but he'll say otherwise. If I said, John, you're 99, you'd be like, hey, look pretty good, but you're not 99. I always joke with people and I say I'm 72 to see their reaction. And then I'm happy when they guess that I'm younger than I am. All vanity aside, John, you're doing amazing, my friend. I'm sorry that this one was a little throw it up against the wall, see if it sticks. But the point is, I'm going to go back to finishing a lot of these loose ends and a lot of these client promises and things that we're building. I have a few clients that I showed you here. We're launching this week. I mean, launching. And if you or you have clients or anybody who can figure out a way, grab your credit card, join on the VIP for $5,000. I can bring you with me on this journey. I know a couple months ago I said about the MinuteLaunch Club, and dozens of you guys joined, and I'm grateful for you. If you're in that and you're thinking about it, join up. For me, the difference is it will expedite my jumping the Snake River Canyon. I have a couple big clients and prospects that when these kick off, that's going to be the end of that. It doesn't mean I'm not going to do office hours. Of course, I'm still doing office hours. It means, though, that as you've seen, I deprecated, I removed the club, the 250, 300 thing, that's gone. I know what this is worth. What I'm kind of hinting at is I'm saying $5,000, get on board, come on now, because if this kicks in, this other thing I'm talking about, I'm not going to be offering that for $5,000. It's going to be something else higher. And that's how I've always done it. I honor, cherish your friendship, your faith in me in early days. But as things succeed and grow, obviously the value proposition oftentimes goes with it. So I'm saying now's the best time than ever. Plus, we're going into the holiday season. It's an awesome time for us to have this, let's just get on the phone. Let's just do the Zooms, get you hooked up and join me for the ride. So I'm hoping that some of you guys here who are not yet on it, or those who see the video, will join me, because I can 100% guarantee I've got the real world clients, the real world testimonials, that I've always delivered the value in the traditional 5,000 VIP, but this one is now very special because of what we can do with all these other tools. And I hope that my Marie Kondo skills come together this weekend and I can present Monday morning this thing bundled up and really super neat. And that's it. All right. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. It looks like it's going to be a great day. Had a fun pickleball break, but I'm going to be working all weekend to get this going. Hope you do something productive. Love y'all. Talk to you soon.